Can you hear me now? Yeah, mum. Brr. Yeah, yeah. It's not the chair. It's the bolts that I put in it to hold it together. Hi guys. I need a new one, mum. Um, yeah, I do. Wink, wink, mum. Uh, are you on about all the the windows around the side? Okay. See you soon, Tessa. I don't know how much delay is on this. Yeah, it is. Um, it is at first, but you get used to it really quick. Up here are all your main tools. This is where you load um, me save it. You can load all your tools, and there's the different layers and the different parts of the gorilla that I've been working on. But then underneath this, you've got, these are your subtools. So he's a subtool, and then we've got the eyes. So the eyes are subtools on their own, and then you can close that one. But then you've got your geometry, and this helps you if you want to make it much more detailed. You mess with the geometry, and it increases the polygons. So if I divide this now, go back on the gorilla. If I subdivide the gorilla, it multiplies all the polygons. And you end up with a tool that has got much finer details. It makes it harder to sculpt. And then over this side we've got our brushes. So we've got the clay. I'm using the clay tubes brush, but you've got the Damien standard that I've been using. No, he's gonna be a bust, Mum. So we've got this one, and if we pull it out, it's got an alpha on it, which is like a stamp type thing, like a stencil. So when you pull it out, it stamps the hair in, and then you just come in and knock off the detail, smooth it down to make the grain that you want on the hair. Because I want to make him into like an old statue that's been lost in time. don't know how much time delay is on there. Hi 3D printing science. Yeah. What made this? Um, I made this in ZBrush. Cheers, dude. So what I'm doing now is I'm just using the hair alpha, and using it to give texture, but then using the if you hold shift in ZBrush, it turns to the see it turns blue. It turns to the smooth tool. So you've basically got two tools all the time. Um, you've got your standard brush, which is you can either have clay tubes, and you can change the alpha on that, so it can either draw in a square. I always leave it. I always pick one of the alphas. Normally, alpha 1 or alpha 37. Alpha 37 for finer detail, for bulking in, not bulking in, for like adding muscle mass. But do that on a lower subdivision. So when you do add it, it's easier to smooth it back out into the form that you want. You've got another tool as well, which is the reverse of the basic tool, the standard tool. So if you hold Alt, it inverts the brush, so you can push in, and you can take a lot of material away that way. And then same thing again. I always work and smooth. It just helps the process. And the same with no, I got this version. There is a free version. It's called Sculptress, but I got this license when I was in uni. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah, but this version, the pro version, the full version, is $750, I think, to start off. There are cheaper versions, but they're not full versions. Um, but Sculptress is free, and it's supposed to be the same. I think I'm gonna switch over and give that a go, give that a try soon. Yeah, so with just one brush, you've got a lot of tools and ways to use it. You can add, um, and if you hold Shift, you can subtract. The other thing as well, if you hold Control, it brings up the masking panel. So if I wanted to do something around the ear, like adding hair, I can just press Control and it masks. If you um, hold Control again and tap on the mask, it softens it. If you tap outside of the mask, it softens it. If you tap in the mask, it hardens it. If you tap outside of the screen, it reverses the mask. So if you want to just work on the ear, you can just work on the ear, and it won't affect any of the other bits outside of it. Um, so you can bring it in and work on it and give it some form. You've got a move tool as well, that you can use to grab the clay and move it around, and shape it to how you want to. And they reverse as well. So if you hold Alt, click and drag, it reverses it, so you can push and pull. No, it won't be this one. There's a few on there. Um, yeah, so Sculptress is the free version of this. It's made by the same people as well. It's made by Pixelogic. Um, and then to clear your mask, you control and drag outside. Um, I'm gonna play with it and see if it is. The thing with ZBrush is it's once you get the layout that you once you get the hang of the layout, it's so easy to use. It feels so natural, especially if you've got a graphics tablet, because you can just it's a lot more free. You can you can sculpt away, and it's much more natural. So if you're used to drawing, or if you try things like this with say a mouse, um, it's pretty hard. Um, well, to add new body parts, you can you go into your subtool panel, and then if we zoom out a minute, what you can do is you can append, and say we wanted to add an arm. um, we go over and append a sphere, and then you can move the sphere to wherever you want. Wrong one, right. the sphere. Turn symmetry off. And then say we wanted to add this arm, we can zoom out, move it to where we sort of want it to be, and then you can scale them down. You've got draw, move, scale and rotate. When you're on the drawing panel, you can obviously draw on the move panel, and any subtool that you've got selected can be manipulated and moved around. And then you've got your scale, so each one of these sort of represents one of the tools up there. So if you want a uniform scale, you find your center of your object and pull out, and then to scale down you sort of squish down, and each one does a different option, so that'll sort of scale everything, but in a weird sort of squished way. So what you want to do is pull down to scale uniform, and then you can hit the move tool. If you move these around, so say I want this to go into the shoulder, you just move the viewport around, move the starter point, and if you can just move it along that line and it'll move into place. And then once you've got that, you can go to the draw, and there's a really powerful tool that they've sort of added recently, and it's called Dynamesh. So if you turn Dynamesh on, it'll affect the sphere, and then you can let's get the move tool. Move. Yeah, so you can move the objects to how you want them, and not have to worry too much about the geometry, because with Dynamesh, you just mask outside the area and it remeshes it, so you can smooth it and work on it again, and it won't mess it. It'll remesh it. Oh yeah, what I'll do is I'll decimate it in here, and then I'll combine all the subtools like the eyes, and then I'll export it out to Fusion, and convert it into an STL, ready for 3D print. But there's still quite a bit of work. I've got to bring all the details out of it now, and pretty much oversaturate the details in this, so when it's printed, a bit of sanding, and it shouldn't knock off too much of the detail. Yeah, but so with say making the arm, you just push and pull until you get the rough shape that you want, and you can smooth it as well, so it gives you the shape that you want. So if we wanted to do the arm, we'd have to push in the triceps, and thicken them a bit, and bring the inside of the arm in, and then bring the bicep out. And then if we Dynamesh that now, that smooths it again into one uniform. Um, yeah, if you make it, if you rescale it and make it any bigger, um, like if I think it's, I don't think it's up here now. If we go to decimation, oh, so there should be. Yeah. This the arm itself that I've just created is 18,568 polygons. The total altogether is 9,176,000. Um, so yeah, if when you go into Decimation Master, which is a free plugin, you can oh, there you go. Yeah, there's the active points, and that means the polygons, and then the total points is everything together. So all the subtools added together. If you move it, push it and pull it and stretch it, it tends to keep the same amount of polygons. It doesn't really change unless you start adding polygons, but the move tool, you can pretty much move it freely, and this hasn't changed at all. And then when you dynamesh it as well, that obviously increases the polygons to make the shape better conform, so it makes it more stable. And then if obviously when you're happy with whatever you've created, you can come over to the deformation, and you can mirror, and it will instantly flip over to the other side. But if you come into your subtools and you duplicate it first, and then go to deformation and mirror, you've got your two arms ready to go, perfectly symmetrical, perfectly in line, down, because it keeps the X, Y, and Z axis the center point of your model. So when you rotate around, it keeps it to the center point really. So you can rotate around. You rotate around your mouse, and if you hold Shift, you can snap to a view, and then to get rid of anything that you don't want, if it's still in a subtool, you can just delete the subtool, and as it says, you can't get them back. It's permanent when you delete stuff. But then you can also, hey Joe, yeah, yeah. If you, well, not really. If I stretch this crazy weird out of all, like this, yeah, any other program, you'd be absolutely, you know, if you did that and it merged everything, because it has merged it, because you know, if I move anything here, see, the meshes, once you move them into each other, they completely merge as soon as you let go. So this, um, that's like a horrible mess. But if you if you dynamesh it, yeah, you freeze the subdivisions, and then dynamesh it. You can smooth it out, or you can work on it again, and it's found a way to reconfigure the geometries so it's best to work, to a point that if I keep smoothing and dynameshing, it will eventually just work. There'll be no weird, and you can use all the other tools on there as well, and it'll just work. Some of the normals are reversed in that, but you could sort that out, and you could inflate. You could inflate them and make a big mess. So yeah, like horrific mess. But same thing, dynamesh, smooth, and you're sorted. See if I got enough undos. Boom. There you go. Yeah, the Super Joe. Yeah. So where were we? We were standard. Yeah. Yeah. Have you still got it on the Mac though, haven't you, Mum? Oh yeah, everybody. My my mum's in the house. um, I've been using ZBrush since about 2007 now. I spent a lot of time away from it. I spent 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 every day on it. Um, but that was because I was in uni and I was blasting it out. I left it for a while. I did a lot of it after uni, so say 2013, and then I left it for a while, and I've only just picked it up. Your Mac's not working. What's the matter with it? Who broke it? Thanks, buddy. I'll see you soon. This is gonna have to be a big print, Joe. Ah, that's easier. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Squeaky chair. Joe's gonna have all the toys, all the toys. Oh, balls. Nah, you can print yourself a home. the, the raise is pretty big. Okay, see you soon. Do you know what? I think I'm gonna print myself loads of just 2-layer squares. That's cool. Oh. I'll probably sign off for a bit now anyway. Sort this out because it's crashing and check on the printer and on the house. Night, Mum.